I need to film this quick motivational video in response to this viewer question. I put a request for questions over on my Instagram, and this is one of the questions that came up. Now, this is a subject that I think hits so many of us it right in the feels, because so many of us will have gone through these times and these experiences where it seems like everything in life is breaking down, where everything is falling away, or there is so much change within us, outside of us, that we kind of lose that clear vision, the clarity on what it is that we're here to do, which direction we're supposed to be moving in, where it is that we're going. And it can also, it can put us into victim mode. I say that without judgment. I still do this. It's something that we have to catch ourselves on and remember that we have so much power within us to make changes, to change our lives, to move in the direction in which we want to move. Now, as you know, I work with the runes, and I believe that all of the runes can be found as an expression of self, of behaviour within us, something that we can feel and experience, or something that we can work with and use. If we look at the feelings brought up by the Nathis rune, for example, Nathis is need fire. It can be that experience of contrast that you might hear used in spiritual circles, the feeling of wanting something, of desiring something, of not having something in our life, and feeling and experiencing its absence. It can be the feelings of frustration, of loss, of feeling like whatever we do, nothing is working, or it just feels uncomfortable. We feel lacking. And in that space, we have two choices, two pathways in which we can walk down mentally, emotionally, spiritually. We can choose to fixate on the problems, on those feelings of lack, and stay there and resign ourselves to the fact that we have no power to change it, that this is the hand life has dealt us, and we're here, that's it. Or we can decide to counteract that feeling, that experience, to dig within ourselves, to go deep and find what it is that we want to do in its place. What is it that I want to experience instead of this? What is it that I am, that my spirit, that my inner being, the higher self, my soul, whatever you want to call it, what is that saying to me? Where am I being called? What is it that I want? What is it I want to do? What do I want to experience? What do I want to share? Who do I want to be? And then you decide to focus on that, and that is where you put your energy. And the contrast is there to be our teachers. It is to show us what it is that we need to do, to show us where we need to shift, where we need to grow, where we need to change, where we need to move forwards. So yes, in response to that question, yes, there is always a chance. There is always a new hope. I have when I read this question, the first thing that came to my mind was The Laughing Heart by Charles Bukowski, which, if you don't know it, is a phenomenal poem, and it's inspired me. I might do something with that as well. But the beginning of that is, your life is your life. Don't let it be clubbed into dank submission. And if you find, I might link it down below, but if you have the time to go and read the entirety of that, it is incredibly powerful in the wording that is used, in the way it will prompt you to look at life. There's another line where it's like, there might not be much light, but it beats the dark. And the closing line is, the gods wait to delight in you, which I personally love. And it reminds me of every single religious structure, every belief pattern that involves multiple deities, or a singular deity, or multiple characters, even if it's sort of a monotheistic, or monotheistic religion. They all have this concept of people within those stories that kind of follow the hero's journey. If you look at the sagas from Nordic tradition, if you look at the the sagas and things that come out of ancient Greece, we have this repeating story of the hero's journey. And these are repeated through all of these different religions in different ways. In all of these historical texts, we find the power of the human story, of individuals, of beings, whatever they may be, going through difficult experiences that ultimately shift them. They take them on some kind of journey through some kind of growth that get them to where they need to be. And each of us, the reason we have retold those stories through oral traditions and then committed them onto paper or into scripture of some kind, is because those stories have the power to teach us something. Like I said, I do not care what your belief is at all. You will find those stories repeated throughout the entirety of human history in different ways with different people, but that is where we get the concept of this hero's journey. So, whatever you are at within your own journey right now, you are the main character in your story. There will be people looking up to you, maybe children, maybe friends, maybe family. Maybe you feel that way. There will be, if you believe in this, ancestors, maybe otherworldly beings, your higher self, your God's guides, guardian spirits, whoever you believe in. Maybe you believe that they're watching you. And I don't believe that we can make too many wrong turns, truly wrong turns on our way, because ultimately the power is in taking ourselves, finding our power in those most difficult moments, even if we've messed up, even if we feel we've made a wrong decision or taken a wrong turn, and having the self-awareness to bring our power back to ourselves and go, do you know what? I'm going to move in this direction. I know what it is I've done, or I know how I can make this right, or I know where I'm being called. And it's just taking that moment and shifting your focus to move the way in which you need to move, to head in that direction, to take yourself away from all of the problems. And even though there might be really big things that you need to overcome, and having that core central belief that you have the strength and the power and the ability to do it. And in some ways, maybe this was all destined to help you reach your greatest self. Because those stories, all of the ones that we've grown up with, I don't care whether it's, like the Greek heroes, I don't care whether it's the Nordic gods or whether it's Rocky Balboa. Whatever way you look at it, the story remains the same. There is a person, a human, a being, having a life, and things get difficult. And then they decide to do something. They move, they grow, they change. We watch the journey. That is all of us. All of us can do that. And it's just finding, like Bukowski says, it's finding that one little bit of light. There might not be much light, but it beats the dark. And you find that and you follow it. And that is how you move. So, I'll leave this here. I hope you enjoyed this. Sending you all my love, and I'll catch you again really soon.